no one answered the question or has even asked the question about what happens to the federal child care income tax credit that parents currently receive. Will those parents, and I guess we can ask the experts, will those parents just be losing that funding, and will the state then be absorbing that cost? Because right now it's an assistance directly to the parent that I feel affords the parent's choice. I also feel that this bill is going to remove parental choice. We have the choice right now. We can take our child out of any daycare center, and if we don't like it, and we can put them anywhere we want. And that we set the standards. You know, the state now will be setting the standards. So no matter where you go, you'll be exposing your child to the same standards. So where do you go if you don't approve of the standards? I mean, it doesn't matter what glass you're drinking the Kool-Aid out of. You're still drinking the Kool-Aid. And so are we limiting parent choice? I believe we are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Reich, question? Mr. Richard.
It's on. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I missed the first part of your testimony. Do you own a nurse right now? You have? You don't? I wanted to ask this question earlier. I can't ask you guys that, but what do you think is a percentage? I guess maybe an average child care center of 100 people, and you wouldn't have a way of knowing this for those that go to a private school versus a public school. I guess what I'm getting at is, how do we know they're prepared when they're graded through a public school or they go to a successful private school, yet we're blaming public schools for problems? You see what I'm saying?
No.
Well,
how do you know if they're prepared?
You can't answer this because y'all don't have kids.
We have yet to define prepared. And when I was a kid, you were prepared for kindergarten if you could go to the potty by yourself.
Right.
I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? We're talking about children, and every child is ready to learn.
I appreciate
I don't
your
think the
testimony.
state needs to determine whether or not a child is ready to learn. Every child is ready to learn.
Right.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Representative Richard. Representative Schroeder.
Thank you. Let me make sure I'm trying to follow what your argument is. So you believe that the state dollars should follow the child to whatever daycare they want to go to?
That's the federal law, yes.
But you said that right now it's not in the state.
It's never been that case in the state. And if it's not, the federal and state monies are supposed to be separated out. I mean, we could have serious legal repercussions for what's going on.
So you're saying right now the state's in violation of federal law the way you understand it?
And has been for over 20 years.
And hopefully somebody from the department can explain that. I just want to make sure, Karen, that I understood what you said last. And I'm all about the parents having a choice.
Right.
Tell me again why you think this is going to stop a parent from having a choice?
Because every daycare center will be required to teach a curriculum to the standards so that they can pass another test. We'll have, what if you don't agree with the curriculum? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, don't you have the ability to take your child out that daycare and bring them someplace else?
I guess right now I do, but from the conversation here, I'm hearing now that y'all are calling for, someone was calling for required kindergarten, and then of course if we're going to require kindergarten and they're not ready, we'll have to require fourth and third grade, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, I'm sure, because gosh darn it, they'll need to be ready for kindergarten. And we've actually read reports where kindergarten readiness begins in the womb. And so we're actually talking about assigning home care workers to send home, you know, so that we know how to take care of our children. I mean,
I was also in a meeting at Bessie that James Garvey got us into. And it was discussed towards the end of that meeting that with this in mind, this kindergarten readiness in mind, that for children who do not attend pre-K, that they would eventually need to come up with a system to grade parents.
Okay, and the secretary is going to come up and address. I want to make sure that I'm clear what I heard you say, though. If if they get state dollars, you saying that they can't compete, won't be able to compete
Right.
because they're not getting any state dollars. But if they do get state dollars, shouldn't they have some guideline that they should follow?
They should follow the parents' guidelines according to the federal law.
Well,
And
but if you're going to accept government dollars,
you have to separate out the state and federal money if you're going to do that. That's what the law says. And also to your question of don't they have the option to pull their child out, if they're on subsidy, they don't have that option unless we follow the federal law.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Schroeder. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you all very much.